Now you guys, before you even think about typing this in the comments, I know I'm going to be seeing this time and time again with the content that we're putting out over the next couple of weeks, and even though it can get repetitive, it's also important to remember that yes, we are just talking about Summer League here. But you know, as the NBA fans that we all are, I feel like it's become our duty to overreact to everything we see from every rookie over the summer. And whether these overreactions be good or bad, there was one in particular that I was really keeping my eyes on going into this. And yes, as you could probably tell from the title of the video, it has to do with what might be the biggest steal of the 2022 draft that the Dallas Mavs were somehow able to get their hands on. And while also showing he's a steal, he seemingly became a hidden gem in the process, which if you would have said this a year ago, you probably would have sounded crazy. One sec though guys, if you haven't yet, don't forget to like the video if you do enjoy, subscribe, and turn on those notifications to never miss another NBA video. Love you guys. As some of you saw, we did just hit 50k a while back, and I truly cannot thank you guys enough. But still, according to my numbers, over 95% of you guys that are coming back to watch the content haven't even subscribed yet. So again, I just wanted to say thank you. But anyway, back to the Dallas Mavs and their absolute highway robbery of a selection, grabbing the one and only Jaden Hardy. And when I say this, some of you watching this video that don't necessarily do a lot of pre-draft scouting or research, there's probably a good chance that a portion of you have never heard of him before and are curious what all of the hype could possibly be about the 37th overall pick. Well, as I hinted towards a little bit prior, if you would have tried to imply that the Mavs could land Jaden Hardy with the 37th overall pick just a few months back, that probably would have been one of the most ridiculous statements that anyone would have made regarding the 2022 draft. Because as some of you have probably seen, over the last year, Jaden Hardy spent most of this time playing for the Ignite in the NBA's G League, which was definitely deserved as coming out of high school, he was a 5-star recruit and the number 2 player in his graduating class, and also not to mention a projected top 5 pick in almost any mock draft you looked at the time. So of course, this begs the question of what in the world happened to Jaden Hardy that had NBA teams passing up on him 36 times before he fell into the Mavs' lap. Because again, I know guys, it's just Summer League, but out of everything we've seen in Summer League, Jaden Hardy might have just had the best debut that any rookie had to offer. And through his 1 year of G League experience, averaging around 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists per game, these numbers at first glance don't show any major flaws, but ultimately what led to the major downfall of his draft grade was undoubtedly the efficiency in his play. Because just to use one example of his shooting splits for the season, which were 35% from the field and 27% from 3, I mean yes, these numbers will relatively plummet almost any player's draft stock, but for Hardy to drop a full round from what he was projected just a year ago isn't just insane for Jaden Hardy, but it's also a golden opportunity for the Dallas Mavs. Because while it's very easy to pick apart Jaden Hardy and the flaws he had playing against the closest thing to NBA caliber talent right out of high school, going through the G League instead of college, especially for a guard like Jaden Hardy, is the best case scenario possible to get him NBA ready as quick as possible. Because as the expected inefficiencies were there at the beginning, it is safe to say that Hardy did improve as the season went on, albeit they weren't crazy by any means, but it's still something to take a look at. But aside from everything we've already mentioned, the biggest reason as to why I feel like he is going to be such a seamless fit into what the Dallas Mavs are trying to do is the fact that he is tremendous in his shot making and shot creating abilities, which will be huge alongside Luka Doncic in the backcourt. And to make matters even better with this, it almost seems like the perfect time and opportunity to do so with the recent departure of Jalen Brunson. Now, I'm absolutely not saying that Jaden Hardy is going to step in and do everything to the exact degree that Jalen Brunson once was, but if he's given some time to develop, I think he could be a major asset in this Mavs rotation with what they're trying to do. But now, getting into the very slim amount of footage we have of him from his Summer League debut, it's amazing to see that immediately upon Jaden Hardy's arrival to Dallas, that they're already trying to improve some of the biggest quote-unquote flaws that have tarnished Jaden Hardy's game, which, if you looked into some of his scouting reports, were his ability ability to get to the rim, his playmaking, and his effort on defense. And clearly, he's going to have all year to perfect his game in any way he possibly can. But from what we've seen so far, and again, I know it's just Summer League, it's still very promising. Especially because people still need to realize and understand that this kid is just 20 years old. And with it being very likely that he's going to earn a spot on this Mavs roster, if you think he's not going to pick up a thing or two from sharing a backcourt with either Luka Doncic or Spencer Dinwiddie from time to time, I'll just respectfully disagree with you and we'll leave it at that. But honestly, one of the best parts about this entire thing, you guys, is that while the Dallas Mavs did have Jaden Hardy pretty high on their personal draft board, I mean, higher than almost any other team it seems. In fact, they had him at 19th on their personal board. They went into this draft thinking they had absolutely zero chance of getting their hands on this man. However, at the beginning of the offseason, they did have a sliver of hope. As some of you remember, they possessed the 26th overall pick in this year's draft. But after trading away this first round pick in a package to acquire Christian Wood, all hope of Jaden Hardy coming to Dallas seemed to have flown out the window at that point. But while their front office was sitting there in the second round and saw that he was still somehow up for grabs in the late 30s, they picked up the phone immediately to initiate that trade and take their shot on a man that it seems most NBA teams don't really believe in. I mean, sure, you guys, yes, he's really young, he's a raw talent, and he does have a lot to prove. But from what we've already seen, what we know about him, and what we might continue to see, he has all the ingredients to potentially become the biggest steal out of the 2022 NBA draft. I mean, honestly, if he is able to put up consistent numbers like he has so far in Summer League throughout the rest of this Las Vegas tournament, there's very likely going to be a lot more people talking about him than just you Dallas Mavs fans. But for anyone who was familiar with Jaden Hardy before his arrival to the NBA, or even if you just picked up on him recently, I am extremely curious to hear what you guys have to think of him. So please let me know in the comments, and I know it is extremely early to be predicting this, but I still want to hear it. What do you think the ceiling of Jaden Hardy's career could be at the NBA level? And also, do you think that Jaden Hardy will be the steal of the draft when it's all said and done? And if you don't, who else do you think will be? But again, you guys, if you haven't yet, don't forget to go down below and leave a like on the video if you did enjoy, and of course, subscribe while you're down there. I still have so many players I want to cover from Summer League, and free agency is definitely not over yet. We have so much content to put out over the next couple of weeks, so I'll just say this, you do not want to miss out. But also, I just wanted to say thank you so much to each and every one of you for watching. I appreciate all of you more than anything. You all know this, and I will see you guys in the next video.